Hey, little birdie, don't feel down. Come and perch on my shoulder. Don't be shy. I'll show you around town. Really? No wonder they never pay attention to me. Forget it. I probably shouldn't be anthropomorphizing them anyway. Haven't seen you in some time. To which one of the Animo Archon's winds do I owe the honor? Oh, is this your way of saying that you missed me? Since it wasn't meant to be with this little birdie, I'd better leave it alone. Let's take a walk, shall we? If you're wondering why I'm here, Jean's been worrying about trade safety recently. I discovered this when I unwittingly burst into her office to save the day. Another job involving long-distance travel falls to me. I suppose it's my own fault for having such a strong sense of duty. Still, on the bright side, business is now taken care of. And I have unused travel funds, so I was planning to...
Gundafar, we are in the middle of a war. Your place is at the front lines by my son's side. Pray tell, what provokes your unwarranted return to the palace?
A matter of utmost importance, Your Majesty, such that I must personally report it to you.
Huh. Outdoor theater. Looks fun. Actually, yes. I saw some guards do a musical performance when I was traveling with their caravan in Sumeru. They were desert dwellers. So are these actors. And I think I actually recognize one of them. Come on, let's go watch.
Your Majesty, not only has God bestowed the throne upon you, but your beloved son, Prince Kubad, has led our brave warriors to victory against Frasyav's army. His men have laid down their arms and fled. Frasyav's brazen ambition is no more. He has bowed his head and now presents to your Majesty an offering of treasures and hostages, as well as a plea for peace. My king, this battle has finally restored the dignity of our people. Moreover, with Frasyav's offer of land comes the opportunity to expand our borders, as your Majesty so greatly wishes. His Highness the Prince and I believe this peace settlement will be a great boon to our nation. It is for this reason alone that I have removed my armor and made haste back to our halls from the front lines. My king, what say you to this proposal?
Ah, it's the tale of Prince Kubad. Ever heard this one? Don't worry, I still remember the general plot. Let me fill you in on the background while the king deliberates. The main characters are the brilliant Prince Kubad and his war-hungry father, King Kabus. The one talking to the king right now is Gundafar, the prince's tutor. When the prince was young, the king was deceived by a malicious rumor that the prince had mistreated his stepmother. He demanded that the prince walk through a blazing fire to prove his innocence. Miraculously, the prince emerged unscathed, thus proving his innocence. But the seeds of doubt had already been sown in the king's mind. Now uneasy in the presence of his mistrustful father, the prince requested to be sent away to the battlefield where he would fight against Frasyav's army. That's the enemy general we heard them mention just now. This is the part where the prince has won the war and decided to forge a peace with the rival nation. He wrote a letter recommending peace to his father. Oh, it looks like the king's made up his mind. Let's keep watching.
Frasyav lost because he did not have the blessing of God. Our God will always watch over us and punish our enemies. Once the bells of war have begun to toll, they shall not cease until the blood of our enemies fills the land. There can be no victory until the last enemy soldier has fallen. If Kupad still wishes to be my son and hold the intaglio I bestowed upon him as proof of his royal blood, then he must obey my command.
Your Majesty, I must caution that a nation destroyed is not a fallen city writ large. Now, the loss of one city strikes fear into the hearts of our enemies, compelling them to accept defeat and cede land in exchange for peace. If, however, we insist on bringing a whole nation to its knees, then so long as a single person is left standing, they will see us as their sworn enemy, and one day return to us tenfold the pain that we have inflicted on their nation and family. My king, a people is to their nation as wild grass to the open prairie. Though we burn down the whole field and spare not one blade of grass, roots continue to grow unseen beneath the surface. Come the spring, it is all but inevitable that fresh green shoots will rise up from the ashes.
Cease, Gundafar! Your mind grows dull in your old age, filled with naive delusions. We shall have no more need of you on the battlefield. As for my son Kubad, I will summon him back to the capital, so he may be tried by a court-martial.
What are you saying, my noble king? Why must you mistrust your own flesh and blood and sink ever deeper into the blight of hatred? When he was falsely accused, you once doubted his honor and made him walk through a raging fire. Did he not prove himself worthy by emerging unharmed from the flames? Now you would turn me away when I seek only to provide the wisdom of counsel. What is the justification for this?
The justification is that my word, not yours, is the law of the land. Cease and be gone, Gundafar, so you may spend the rest of your days with your wife.
What has become of the king that I served with my life? Fanaticism has robbed him of all reason and wisdom. Peace is surely the most favorable path for our nation, yet he refuses to accept it.
I must think of a way to seize control of the army back from the hands of my wayward son, that they might continue the fight to the end. Perhaps the first task should be this. I shall send a loyal contingent of warriors to eliminate Frosyav and the hostages he has sent to our palace.
Brilliant acting, Darbil.
I saw you approaching us in the middle of the scene. I was worried that my performance would be subpar and you'd think I was just making a fool of myself.
Not at all. Far from it. Actually, let me introduce you. This is Darbil, the actor for King Caboose. When we first got to know each other, he was still a guard for one of the merchant caravans. Seems like he's now made the switch to full-time acting.
Nice to meet you. Any friend of Kaeya's is a friend of mine. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't making all that much as a mercenary. It felt right to me to get away from the danger and live a more stable life. I was already pretty good at telling stories, so I just recruited a few friends and started performing shows all over the country. Full disclosure, we had to put this little stage together using whatever wood and cloth we could borrow. It's really low budget. Anyway, we're all good enough at acting to get through the motions, but none of us are any good at coming up with a script. Everything we tried to write just sounded off somehow. So I got a student from the academia to adapt an old story I knew to make it more appealing to our audience. What do you think? Passable?
I could tell that you've had someone tighten up the lines. They turned out very nicely.
That's good. Well, as you can see, even now, we still don't have much of an audience. Don't suppose you'd be interested to see the rest of the show?
Sure, why not? I don't have anything pressing lined up. And I don't think the Traveler does either. Tickets for 2, please. How much would that be?
There's no need for tickets. You could just get some food from Jafar Tavern. We've worked out an arrangement with them. We've actually found a sponsor for this performance, too. He's not too happy about the poor turnout, though. I doubt we'll be able to keep him for the next performance. A real pity. But what can you do, huh?
Darbil Asgar still hasn't shown up for the next scene. We should get his costume and sword out so they'll be ready to go the moment he gets here.
My apologies. I have to get ready for the upcoming scene. I'll see you from the stage.
Talk to the bartender if you want a drink. Would you two like to order some food? What can I get you? If you're looking for recommendations, today's special is the tandoori roast chicken.
Bear with us a moment. I was at Port Ormos discussing some business opportunities, and some crook was trying to pull a fast one on me. Darbil took pity on me and politely asked him to make himself scarce. He's a good guy. A decent storyteller, too. Quite an interesting character. There's a lot of fun to be had if you hang around interesting people doing interesting things. Especially if you're in the company of an interesting friend. That's my secret formula for staying in a good mood. Try it out sometime. You'll see what I mean. Thanks for waiting. We're ready to order now. We'll take you up on that tandoori roast chicken. And let's throw in some desserts, too. One each of the rose custard, that talumba, and the patisara pudding, please. That should see us through the show. We've got good seats, close to the stage, but also not too crowded. We can watch the show as we eat. If I remember correctly, the next scene should focus on the prince. But I won't spoil it for you. You have to experience it for yourself. You could say that. It's always stayed with me because it's hammered home a cruel but realistic truth. People do not choose where and when to be born, yet the circumstances of their birth define the choices that they will have for the rest of their life.
Here you are. The check's on the table, too. Just call me over when you're ready to settle up.
No need. I'll pay up front. Here. Keep the change.
Thank you, sir. Oh, but this is too generous.
Call it a token of my gratitude for the excellent service. The food all smells wonderful, too, so please pass my compliments to the chef.
Thank you so much, sir.
Let's dig in, traveler.
Hey, Kaeya. I'm so sorry, but the actor who plays the prince has run into some difficulties and won't be able to make it. We can't do the rest of the show without him, so I'm really, really sorry, but we'll have to call the
Ooh, that would be fun. I wouldn't say no. Darbil, would you lose any income if I were to mess this up?
Not really. I mean, there's not much of an audience here anyway. I wouldn't want to take too much of your time, though.
Don't worry about that. I like to be spontaneous now and then. Spice things up a little.
Let me think. Well, you already know the story, so you just need to memorize a few lines. You know what? This might actually work. Wait, but Kubad has a specific costume he's supposed to wear, and there's no way you'd fit into it. Switching actors is one thing, but wearing street clothes on stage would really ruin the immersion. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work.
Well, good thing that I've actually got a costume with me. It goes pretty well with your stage, too.
You're kidding. Can you show it to me?
Sure. If you can show me the way to your changing room?
It's in the restaurant. Follow me.
Gotta say, I think I actually look pretty dapper in this. It's a pity I don't have many opportunities to wear it in public. Uh-oh, not a fan of me as a prince? I'll have to act my heart out so you'll be too dazzled to make any digs.
Kaeya, here's your script for the next scene. It's not too long, but you also don't have very long to prepare. Do you think you can memorize your lines in time?
Only one way to find out.
Okay, I think we've covered all your lines and movements on stage. You haven't had long to prepare, so don't worry about forgetting your lines. We'll remind you.
All right, I'm good to go.
Great. Then let's get this show on the road.
General Kubad, son of Kabus, the fate of this battle is clear. I beg you, please spare my few remaining men. They no longer have the strength to fight back.
Frasyav, though you now lead only the husk of a once mighty army, I have no desire to crush your dignity. Even your most savage warriors have no desire to see further bloodshed, and none among your ranks have opposed these peace talks. Nevertheless, I must hear it from you one final time. General Frasyav, do you agree to sign a treaty in good faith and commit from this day forth to peace between our nations?
With my army in ruins, I am in no position to do otherwise, but on this, I give you my word. Yes, let us end our hostilities and send our surviving men home to their families.
We share the desire to lay down our arms for good and liberate our hearts from the dirge of hatred. Then as God above is our witness, by the authority vested in me by this intaglio of King Kabus, I hereby declare that I will spare your hostages and what remains of your army. May peace be restored to this land, and may these fields of war become a place where crops grow aplenty. My tutor, Gundafar, has already made haste to my father, the king, with the recommendation of a truce. It is my sincere hope that he will see that peace as a path to prosperity and grant me his blessing.
Prince Kubad, your name is renowned throughout your land and ours. I will place my hope in your words.
One will find on a battlefield no master of ceremonies, nor the paper on which a treaty may be signed. In their absence, let us raise our weapons and swear an oath. I, Kubad, son of Kabus, hereby pledge protection to you and all of your kin. May the oceans be stained red with my blood if I am ever to renounce this oath.
Wow, your friend is so dreamy. He's not a real prince by any chance, is he? Hey, Rashana, you don't want to miss this. The good-looking guy who left that huge tip is acting on stage with Darbel's troupe.
Darbel's one lucky man.
I return, Your Highness. I hope I'm not too late. Have you already promised peace to Frasyav?
Nay, I am not so rash as to preempt my father's blessing. I promised only what I could so far, the safety of his kin.
My child, I must share with you the gravest news. Kabus has become blinded by fanaticism and hatred, and will stop at nothing to vanquish every last man under Frasyav's lead.
How can this be? You mean to say that my father has rejected our proposal for peace?
He has indeed. I urged him to reconsider, and for this I was rebuked and dismissed from his service. But far stricter punishment than this awaits you, should you return home with your troops. Please heed my warnings, dear child. I dare not imagine what unspeakable atrocities your father intends to commit.
Nay, the truce must stand. I cannot renounce my oath. How can man claim to stand above beast without remaining true to his word? The masses have grown weary of death and conflict in both our nation and theirs. Are we all now to bend to his will and massacre countless more to satisfy a desire that is his alone? When I departed my beloved home to fight in a foreign land, I did so to honor his wishes and for my duty to our people. Alas, is this fate's grand design? Is this fate's grand design?
Kaeya, the next line is, "Alas, is this fate's grand design, that I should spend the rest of my days in a foreign land till I am laid—"
Must it be so?
Huh?
Wait, that's not.
My dear audience, I ask you this. Do you believe in fate? If fate decreed... Oh? I shall discard this intaglio.
Wait, but that's not... My dear prince, do you intend to betray your father and abandon your heritage?
Fate means to send the machinations of war to every corner of the land, to fan the flames of conflict till they engulf the entire world. Fate would see my sword tainted with the blood of innocence, that the bright banner of my homeland might fly in every nation known to mankind. But I shall not bow to the will of fate. I am no pawn in heaven's plan.
Bravo! Where did this guy come from? Is he one of the new hires?
Shut up! Stop interrupting.
I, Kubad, will spend the rest of my days in a foreign land till I breathe my last in a place far from home.
Oh, at least he brought it back in the end.
Prince Kubad, my child, there is no need to be rash. Please bring at least your fortune and the retainers who will always be loyal to you.
Gundafar, my dear mentor, you have always been like a father to me. It brings me only anguish to bid you farewell. But I must walk this path, or freedom dies by my hand. Goodbye, my tribe and kin. Farewell, sweet land of my birth.
Goodbye, my child.
Ooh, it's Prince Kubad. Could I please get your autograph?
Why, certainly, ma'am.
Ooh, thank you. I'll just go find a pen.
Just an autograph? Well, you can get one of those at any time. Acting is quite fun. If there ever came a day when I left the Knights of Favonius, I think I might go into acting full-time.
Darbil, could you introduce me to this young man?
My apologies, Master Toos. I somehow missed you in the crowd earlier.
I was some distance away. I just came over near the end after I noticed a large crowd gathered around the stage. The performance was outstanding across the board. I knew that the poor turnout over the past few days was just bad luck. It was only ever a matter of time before you hit it big. The improvised section was particularly good. I think you could include some improvisation as a staple in future performances. As for the prop he threw, no need to get it back. It's fairly cheap anyway.
Thank you, sir. And a big thanks also to our wonderful prince. Had Kaeya not agreed to fill in, we might have disbanded right on the spot.
Kaeya, was it? Well, young man, I must say you've made quite the impression on me. My caravan is always loaded with the finest food and wines. You're welcome to visit at any time.
Thank you for the invite, sir, but I'm afraid I've reached the end of my time at Sumeru. I'm sure that my friends and family in Mondstadt must be missing me terribly.
Well then, consider it an open invitation. Once you've been bitten by the travel bug, my friend, you'll be getting itchy feet again before too long. My door is always open. If you're ever interested, please ask Darbil to reach out to me. Darbil, we can continue discussions on the sponsorship once you've wrapped up today's show. I'm going back to the inn.
Thank you so much, Master Toos. I'll see you shortly. Seriously, Kaeya, thank you for bailing me out again. You're a good guy. May the gods bless you. You know, you should stay for a few more days. I owe you a meal at the very least.
Darbil, Asgar is back. He lost track of time playing Genius Invocation TCG. You've got to sort him out.
Genius Invocation again? Ah, that does it. That kid's not getting away with it this time. Please excuse me, Kaeya. I will be right back.
Sure, there's no rush. Okay, I think they're all gone. Let's slip away now while we can. All right, this should be far enough. Don't think they'll find me here. People were starting to expect a lot of things that I didn't sign up for. Besides, the missing actor is back now. Darbil shouldn't be needing me to stand in again. I don't mind socializing, but compared to chatting over food and drink, I much prefer just going wild on the stage. What about you? Did you enjoy the show? Oh? I was expecting a lengthier critique, but you've thrown the question right back at me. Sneaky. All right, I'll rise to your challenge. Let me think. All the world's a stage, and all the people merely players. Does that answer your question? Perhaps there's an inept god out there deciding everyone's fates, much like the academia student drafting Darbil's scripts. Yeah. Inept is a good word for it. Honestly, it might even be a little too civil to describe a god who turns fathers against their sons and is bent on endless warmongering, don't you think? Anyway, that's exactly why actors need to wake up and realize they don't have to follow the script. There's nothing to stop them from following their gut and making it up as they go. Oh, my dear traveler, please don't take me too literally. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. The god is just a figure of speech. The real point I'm making is about the actors. Everyone, you and I included, is both an actor and a member of the audience. If you don't like the script, just walk off the stage and join the audience. You always have a choice. A little too obtuse? Well, don't dwell on it. It's nothing worth losing sleep over. I was just thinking aloud. Relax. Be yourself. Do your thing. That's all I'm really trying to say. When I did my little bit of audience interaction back there, you had no time to prepare. You had to just say what you thought in the moment. I think those spontaneous thoughts are often the most authentic. And that's why I liked your answer. You're still holding on to the intaglio I threw you from the stage, right? Keep it. Think of it as a souvenir from my improvised performance. It's been the most fascinating day, hasn't it, little birdie?
Fate is called as such, for it cannot be changed, nor can it be reversed. It can only but be accepted.
Gundafar, we are in the middle of a war. Your place is at the front lines by my son's side. Pray tell, what provokes your unwarranted return to the palace?
A matter of utmost importance.
Outdoor theater. Looks fun. Yes, here's what I was thinking about the unused funds. Given that the acting Grand Master saw fit to allocate these funds to my trip in the first place, in other words, what do you say we find a way to perhaps a fancy meal at a nice restaurant? Or a river cruise that takes in the sights of Sumeru? Hey, no need to put it like that. The rules of the Knights of Favonius state that any and all expenditures during a business trip are counted as travel expenses. That's more than enough justification to live a little. Of course, with me being here on my own, it was looking like a wasted opportunity. But now that I've run into you, why don't we make this a joint trip? You're always so busy. It's high time you gave yourself a prop. And anyway, life is short, so we should make the most of the time we have. Great. Music to my ears. There's nothing more enjoyable than the company of a good friend. Now, let me think where we should go. How about Liyue? I'd be heading past there on my way back to Mondstadt anyway, so it's not out of the way. Well, lucky me, Liyue's Ministry of Civil Affairs frequently corresponds with the Knights of Favonius. I don't have much luggage, so it won't take me long to pack. Give me... I've heard that there's lots to see and do in Liyue, but I'm sure you're more familiar with the place than I am, so I'll leave the itinerary to you. Great. Maybe you can tell me about your previous travels here along the way. It's such a satisfying feeling to just drop everything, go on a long trip, and see something new. Who knows who we might cross paths with? We might even end up going on an impromptu adventure. Just like how I met you in Port Olmos, and now we're here. Come on, let's see what's up ahead. Do you know this shop? It looks pretty nice from the outside. Shall we take a look?
Place to go for classic Yuet dishes.
Welcome to Mingxing Jewelry. We are a long-established trader of precious stones. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Let me see. Ah, some nice jewelry you've got here. Maybe I can grab something with a local flavor as a souvenir. What do you think, traveler? See anything that suits my style? I trust your judgment.
Ah, you're interested in souvenirs. If you're struggling to decide, you might want to consider getting some jade. You can't go wrong with a nice jade pendant. They're an elegant addition to your look, whatever your age or gender. If you're looking for a specific design, we can make it to your specifications. It does take some time to fulfill an order, however. High-quality jade is hard to come by, so our waiting list is at least a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a pity. I'm just visiting and I won't be in town for very long. So as much as it pains me to do so, I'm afraid I'll have to leave this beautiful bijou behind.
No worries at all, sir. If you're looking for something off the shelf, why not go and see Mr. Shurto at the Jade Mystery? He also deals in jade and precious stones. Exactly. But on that note, let me give you a word of advice. There's no risk in purchasing a piece of jade that's already been cut. But you could lose all of your mora betting on uncut rocks. I won't say any more, as I don't want my fellow vendors to think I'm bad-mouthing them. But I think you catch my drift. It's only human nature to spend a little when you're on a trip, but don't be too hasty to part with your cash. The Ministry of Civil Affairs takes everyone's economic well-being very seriously.
I think that's sound advice wherever you go into that. We appreciate it, boss.
Welcome! Looking for uncut stones or pre-cut jade? We've got plenty of both for your viewing pleasure.
Uncut stones. Ah yes, we were just briefed on that. Let's take a look at the pre-cut jade.
I believe I detect a quiet but distinct tone of apprehension in your words. Please rest assured, there's nothing to be quite so wary about with my business. Feel free to peruse at your leisure. I think you'll find that everything I do here is entirely above board and legitimate, and I sell only pure and unadulterated goods. No scam guaranteed. Sure, you can bet on jade and lose if you're unlucky, but that doesn't make it a scam. My terms are clear and transparent, and I only do business with willing customers. What scammer can claim that?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much the vendor is charging. If the customer decides to hand over their money, they're taking the bait of their own free will.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you understand. Although your peculiar phrasing at the end there, you almost make it sound as if I really am scamming people. Anyway, betting on jade is what it is. Feel free to try your luck, but if you can't afford to lose, then it's not for you. We don't need to cause each other any trouble. I'll leave you to browse at your own pace now while I deal with other potential customers.
Amber-colored jade would probably make for a good souvenir. Why not? This is a quirky little place. Somehow, I'm inclined to entertain him for a bit. Well, if you're not interested...
Ahoy there, Captain!
What, a poor sailor like me? You must be joking. I barely managed to
Hey! Keep your voice down. Can't you see I've got customers? But more to the point, when have you ever seen a customer get scammed in my store?
I mean, you want the full list? Or... Hold up. Is that... Captain Kaeya! What, brings you to Liyue?
Oh, just taking a short trip with my friend. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a good while, hasn't it?
Anywhere you'd recommend I visit while I'm here?
Let me think. Wanmin Restaurant's always a pretty good bet. Chef Mao's daughter is a skilled chef, and their prices are very reasonable. My wife can't get enough of their boiled fish. You could give that a try. And, speaking of my wife, she won't let me forget what a great help you've been to us before. So thank you, on her behalf.
Your wife? Ah, yes. How is she doing these days? Keeping well?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Anyway, I've got something I need to do down at the South Wharf, so my apologies, Captain Kaeya, but I'd better get going.
All right. See you. Ah, I finally remembered who that was. Captain Wu. He runs a transport business between Mondstadt and Liyue.
I see. So you went through that whole conversation with no idea who you were talking to. Well, that explains the generic pleasantries and the general awkwardness. Old Wu's usually quite the chatterbox, so it's very unusual for him to just take off mid-conversation. How exactly do you two know each other anyway?
An educated guess. Yes, you could put it. It's pretty straightforward, honestly. The captain was making a delivery to Mondstadt when his ship sprang a leak. He overexerted himself fixing it and keeping the cargo dry.
Well, it still seems strange to me. Sure, he's hardly the most charming conversationalist, and he's also mighty stubborn, but all of us know old Wu is an honest and kind-hearted man. His eldest was once playing on that big rock over there when he took a tumble and injured himself. I helped to patch the kid up, and the next day, I'm just surprised he was so quick to excuse himself, that's all.
Well, stubborn, I can believe. Someone had drilled a gaping hole in his
Someone drilled a hole in his ship? Oh dear. His line of work isn't easy. The poor fellow usually has to set sail before the break of competition is fierce these days. And there's not a lot of more. Anyway, I digress. We merchants protect our goods like our own lives, so who knows? Maybe he had some important cargo to see to. Either way, good sir, don't mind him.
I am an upstanding member of the Knights of Favonius, after all. Just look me in the eyes. Don't you find me trustworthy?
Since you asked about recommendations earlier, you're here from Mondstadt, yes? Might I suggest the tea house is somewhere to rest your legs? If memory serves, they're just about to retell the tale of Bravebeard the Valiant from the top. Why not pay them a visit?
Huh. Sounds interesting enough. Let's check it out. So this is the He Tea House.
We meet again, Captain Kaeya. What a coincidence. Twice in one day. Oh, that didn't take me long.
Wu, weren't you just at Wanwen Bookhouse buying a book for your daughter? What's this talk about the wharf?
Shh, just leave it be, Anjong. There's no need to embarrass him right in front of everyone else. I take it that you two aren't from around these parts. I'm a caravan guard by trade, and meeting people from all over the world is one of the main perks of the job for me. Why don't you join my table so we can get to know each other?
Oh, seems like the tea house is the place to be in Liyue. Feels like I'm back in the angel share. Did you manage to get something for your daughter just now, Captain Wu?
Yes, thank you. If it weren't for you, Captain Kaeya, she might not have even made it into this world.
I'm so lost, Wu. What's the story here?
Your wife's originally from Mondstadt, isn't she? Did you run into Captain Kaeya when you were there on business, or when you were visiting the in-laws?
The latter. Oh, this is so humiliating. Anyway, back when my wife was pregnant, we were taking a trip to Mondstadt to visit her parents this one time, when we were mugged by a group of treasure hoarders near Dawn Winery.
Oh, that sounds awful. Were either of you hurt?
I mean, he's still here, and he's still got all his limbs, so they can't have roughed him up too bad. I'm guessing Captain Kaeya stepped in before they could do either of you any serious harm, huh?
Yes, he did. Thankfully, he heard my wife crying for help and drove them away. My wife was injured and quite shaken up by the ordeal, so he took her to the winery and asked them to look after her.
So what happened to you? Where did you disappear to?
I was in the water.
Huh? What did you jump in the water for? You know they can still get you in there, right?
No, that's not... They threw me into the water and, stripped me of all my clothes.
They did what? Did they have a weird fetish or something? Stripping a sailor naked and throwing him into the water. It's not like you were going to drown. So, then what? I take it you swam to shore?
The treasure hoarders always move in groups, and fighting back when you're outnumbered isn't usually an option.
Captain Kaeya, please, there's no need for you to try to save face for me like this. I already owe you, yet despite that, I somehow only ended up humiliating. They tossed me into the water to humiliate me, and to use it as leverage. What I'd intended was to pretend to drown, then sneak. That was before Captain Kaeya appeared out of nowhere and saved, but God knows what they did with my clothes. I couldn't find them anywhere.
Outrageous!
So, what happened next?
I made it to the winery, but the maids noticed me first. And they called. After my wife recovered consciousness, she had to have a long talk with the young lord to explain everything. He then...
Oh, whoa. I'm sorry. But...
Ugh, good luck living that one down.
Trust me, I know. My wife never lets me forget.
I'm sorry, Captain. I wasn't intending to share that story.
It's fine. It's my own fault for thinking I could sweep it under the carpet and forget about it. I don't know if I can ever repay you for all you've done. That's why I get so embarrassed every time I run into you. Still, it won't stop me from trying. You and your friend are here to catch the storyteller, right? The tea's on me. It's the least I can do. In fact, they do serve some food here, too, but it's not the best. Okay, let me run and get some fruit to share. I'll be right back.
Oh, poor Wu. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry.
I wonder how much Fanaria caught of.
He really didn't have to share all the details of that story. But since he didn't seem to mind, I wasn't about to stop him. I did actually forget at first. But what D-Luke thought some pervert was harassing the maids, he charged straight out. So many people owe me favors nowadays. It's hard to keep track of them. Hey, you didn't think I was... I just helped the guy out on a couple of occasions because
I'm back with fruit. Please help yourselves, everyone. My treat.
Thank you.
Oh, don't mention it. It's just a few fruits. Once my new pharmaceutical business takes off and I have more to spare, I'll get you a proper thank you gift and...
Pharmaceutical business? So you found a new career? No more shipping?
Shipping's impossible work nowadays. There's too much competition in the mart. I'm going to become a partner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. It's specially formulated to treat seasonal joint and limb pain. If you didn't know, I've suffered from it myself, which is why I know that it's a good cause and a stable source of income. Whichever way you look at it,
That's impressive, Wu. I wouldn't have thought you had the connection.
Oh no, not Dr. Baiju. Actually, it was his master. He gave me a few of his traditionally formulated bone-strengthening pills when he saw me...
Dr. Baiju's...
Yeah, I told him I'd be enthusiastically recommending his medicine to the other guys. He said that he shouldn't really be handing out free prescriptions since...
But I got chatting with Dr. Baiju recently when the secure transport...
Huh? Why would he say something like that?
Captain Wu, where did...
Just out on the street?
Hold on a second. I just remembered something. He spent a lot of mora on it, but when he brought it to Boo Boo Pharmacy, Herbalist Gui took one look and told him he'd bought nothing but regular... This Bai Fudzu you met.
He did.
If I may, Captain Wu, there's a lot of mora involved here.
You're right, Captain Kaeya. A quick trip to Boo Boo
He left in a hurry. He must be stressed out of his mind right now.
Hey, let him deal with this, okay? No point in you stressing. I'm no Dark Knight hero. Or martial arts hero, for that matter. Wait, or are you? Now that I think about it, I can see you having a secret double life as a martial arts hero here in Liyue. You certainly have the personality for it. Either way, Liyue has its own rules and regulations. Best to let the Ministry of Civil Affairs deal with this in the proper manner. If a couple of outlanders like us get involved, we might just end up muddying the waters, even with the best of intentions. We came here to enjoy ourselves, remember? We don't want to get our priorities mixed up. Oh, and look at that. The storyteller's taking the stage.
It is said that the sky's the limit for the aspirational soul. Yet fate fortuitous found him when he entered.
Is that all? Oh, I was hoping to hear the rest of the story. It was all right. I suppose the hero always has to sacrifice himself to save others, and it does make for some good storytelling. But it leaves you wondering how he really feels about the whole thing. Did he ever have second thoughts? Only he can know, I suppose.
Oh, I see the show is over. Yeah, I saw Dr. Baiju. Looks like it was a scam after all.
Then what are you waiting for? Don't just stand there. You need to report this to the Ministry of Civil Affairs right away.
Hold on. Let's not lose our cool. Get your story straight first, so you can give them a clear and detailed account of events in the order that they occurred. And one more thing. Do you still have a way to contact this guy?
Well, I'd arranged to meet him at the Yunshang Tea House once I've withdrawn the next sum of Mora, so I suppose he'll still be waiting on that.
Okay, so you've got another meeting lined up.
I've got no one to blame but myself for this. Young lady, you're a good person, and I'm touched by your words of comfort. Still, it's up to me to find a way to get my Mora back. The consequences are mine alone to bear. At my age, I'm sure I should be comforting the young with words of wisdom rather than the other way around. What does that say about how I've spent my life?
It's obvious, isn't it? He needs to report the case to the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Come with me. I am quite curious. How does our chivalrous martial arts hero intend to come to Captain Wu's rescue here? There are countless victims of injustice in the world. We can't try to help each and every... Oh, I'm surprised. I'm genuinely flattered. But we both know that I'm not that kind of person, really. Your logic is very straightforward, and quite endearing in its simplicity. But I like how you think. So I'll indulge your martial arts hero aspirations for now. Captain Wu, how would you feel about owing me one more favor?
I'm sorry, Captain Kaeya?
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, I found a way to recover your Mora that would leave the man who defrauded you feeling angry and frustrated, but give him no way to get back at you. If it could be done, and the only cost was owing me yet another favor, what would you say?
What exactly are you getting at?
The traveler here is adamant that you should ask me for another favor. Personally, I blame the storyteller. After the inspiring tale of Bravebeard, she's all gung-ho about playing hero and righting this injustice once and for all.
Captain Kaeya, young lady, thank you. I will humbly accept your kindness.
All right. Now here's what I'm thinking. All right, then it's settled. Per our brave hero's plan, let's rendezvous at Yanshang Tea House tomorrow. You're here. Good. I'll head upstairs first, and you join me in a bit. You've got nothing to worry about. As long as this lucky coin's in my hands, it'll do as it's told. Before I toss the coin, I'll get our guy to bet heads or tails. Then it's your turn to bet. Now remember, if I touch my chin, you bet.
Hello. Are you waiting for someone? As long as you follow the rules of the tea house.
From the way you describe it, Liyue does sound like an attractive place to settle. Perhaps I might have to make the move here after all. All that awaits me back in Mondstadt is a horde of insufferable sycophants. Truly tedious. The reason I left home in the first place was because I was reluctant to simply live off of my inheritance.
I understand. For one as ambitious as yourself, Mr. Rich, living off of the family fortune must feel like the dullest existence in the world.
What are you doing? It's common courtesy to introduce yourself. Can't you see we got here first? They're running out of tables, huh? Looks like this location's getting too small for them. Very well, I'll make an exception for you this one time. Let's hope the tea, at least, won't disappoint me.
So, my friend, what's your name?
Here is the tea that you ordered. Please enjoy.
Ugh, this tea is... never mind. Mr. Bai, this has been a most pleasant and insightful conversation. I consider it good fortune that I encountered such a refined gentleman as yourself so far from home. Please allow me to pay for the tea.
Yes, good fortune indeed. In that case, I must thank you for your generosity.
You there. I'll get yours too. Oh, you can't tell? My family's lived in Mondstadt for generations. I got bored sitting around at home and decided to set off on a journey to expand my horizons. The sights of Liyue Harbor are rather spectacular. I've half a mind to buy a waterfront property here so I can come vacationing every year. That would be quite nice. If the family would spare me a little loose change, I could even invest in an antique shop or two so I have something to do during the day. Flaunting? Come on, we're talking 20, 30 million tops, surely. Isn't that just pocket change?
Mr. Rich, just to clarify, that's quite a large sum of mora as far as the common woman is concerned. It's understandable that our friend over here feels out of her league.
The name's Albert. Surname Rich. But only the servants in the house address me as Mr. Rich. Now that we're so well acquainted, Mr. Bai, please just call me Albert.
Albert does have a nice ring to it. It is my honor to become friends with someone of your... caliber.
You flatter me. What say you to acting as my guide during my time in Liyue? I'll pay you handsomely, of course. Naturally, board and lodging would be included. And I could pay you in the region of 50,000 mora per day?
No need, my good friend. I shan't be so vulgar as to take your mora. We're both men of character. The pleasure of your ongoing acquaintance shall be ample reward in itself. To join a noble gentleman on his travels is a rare opportunity. Please, let me draft up an exact itinerary. I'll make sure to give you the experience of a lifetime.
You there. You're welcome to join us if you want. Which clan did you say you were with? The Hoo-Ha clan? Goo-Ha, huh? Strange choice of name.
Yes, well, there are many martial arts clans and factions in Liyue.
Ha, fair enough. Still, weird name. Bet they have some even weirder practices. Seriously though, what kind of skills do you guys train anyway? It's all for show, right? I saw some people performing a... I already told the server to put it on my tab. Don't bother getting her to split the bill. It'll only complicate things.
Young lady, there's no need to take things so seriously. Why don't you loosen?
Are you trying to make a point by throwing my generosity back in my face?
Please, my friends, let's not get so worked up. Yinchang Tea House is no venue for a duel. We'll all get escorted right out the door. You young people have hot tempers, I understand that. But there's no need to come to blows over a few words taken to heart when there are far more diplomatic ways to resolve the dispute.
Did I hear that right? So you'll only pay for yourself if you win, but I'll get the check for the three of us if you lose. It's not that I care about the Mora. After all, I offered to pay for everyone's drinks in the first place. No, what I find truly absurd is your refusal to play fair. I demand that you also pay for three if you win. Fine. You can have your apology if you win, but on one condition. We'll do the best of three, and the winner pays for the table.
Well, as long as you're no longer raring to fight, peace begets wealth, as the elders used to say.
Why do you join us, Mr. Bai? Let's entertain this gal for a sec. We don't want her to think you're stingy.
But I wasn't even a part of your art.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Bai? Whose side are you on here?
Of course, I'm on,
And anyway, it's no big deal if you win. It's just a few cups of tea after all, so you can just take it from your fees as my guide.
All right then. I suppose it's not all that different from the dice gambling games I used to play in my youth. If it's just for a few drinks, you can count me in.
All right, now we're talking. Okay, now that we've agreed on the rules, how should we do this coin toss? After all, a Mora coin look... Well, that should be simple enough. Here, I'll take the...
Young lady, I can see that you haven't spent many years. I, too, only met this Mondstadt millionaire by complete chance. In the real world, you've got to keep up appearances. You young people...
Just so we're clear, let's say the marked side is heads, and the unmarked side is tails. We should also take turns...
Sounds fair to me.
All right, then, I'll start us off.
I suppose the choice is arbitrary.
Let me think. I'll also go with tails. What about you? Heads or tails?
Oh, darn,
I won as well. Guess there might be a formal I have a suggestion. If one of us loses twice in a row, they should get knocked out while the other two carry on playing. I flipped the coin last time, so why don't you go...
Now just wait a second.
Oh?
You are both young, and I've already seen your short tempers for myself. If Albert loses this round and this young lady wins, you'll be tied. And before you know it, you'll be at each other's throat. Well, that's not my only consideration. In dice games, people use all sorts of methods to rig the... If Albert wins the next round and you, young lady, lose, if that happens only for you to then find out that the coin was rigged all along, you're sure to accuse me of working with a purely hypothetical scenario, of course, but one that I'm bringing up now to avoid any misunderstanding further down.
Very diligent of you indeed, Mr. Bai.
A rigged coin will always be a little heavier than a normal coin, you see.
What's your bet this time?
I'll stick with
tails, huh? Well, you seem to have a feel for this, so I guess I'll match your bet again this round. Tails it is. And you?
Well, my luck's still just about holding out. The three of us are now tied.
Well, here you go.
It's...
That's what makes it fun, isn't it? Anyway,
you make a good point.
Okay, and now it's my turn to guess. Not that the outcome matters either way.
Why did it have to be heads? This whole thing started because you two got into a spat.
Sure, why not? I'm having fun. I can go for as many... What am I...
But, Albert, all the...
Oh, come on now. No need to walk on eggshells here.
Sure.
Well, here's the coin. Wouldn't it defeat the whole purpose of betting if...
All right. It all comes down... Ooh, looks like Rex Lapis has smiled upon me today after all.
Look at you getting so giddy over some chump change. It's like you've never gambled with real money before, my old man. That's a real rush, I'm telling you. This is nothing by comparison. In fact, I'm starting to get a little bored.
Well, in that case, would you care for another game?
Sure. And let's up the stakes a little this time. Shall we say 50,000?
Oh, maybe that's a little on the high side.
What, 50,000? But that's just a single day's guide pay for you.
All right. I'll bet tails.
Great, then I'll bet heads. No takebacks. Heads.
Tails. Oh, how unfortunate. I shouldn't have gotten greedy. After all, in the long run, gambling is always a losing game. 50,000 more. My goodness. Albert, I'm terribly sorry, but as it happens, I've...
Advance payment? Sorry, I'm afraid...
This day, just getting better.
Just 50,000? That's not what we agreed...
Huh? What are you talking about?
No, it wasn't. The amount was 1 million.
1 million? Are you insane? Come on now, Albert. Be serious. 1 million here and 1 million there might be all fun and games to you rich types, but to ordinary folk like myself, this is no laughing matter.
I'm being perfectly serious. I know what I said, and what I said was 1 million mora.
You're lying through your teeth. Hey! Huh? What the? I'm not deaf, you know. I never met either of you before today, and out of nowhere you... Do you have any idea? Well, don't you try to celebrate just yet. Do you really think that nobody else will have heard all... Frauds! Frauds, I said!
How pathetic.
What is going on here? If you can't abide by our rules, you're not welcome at Yanxiang Tea House. I don't care what the issue is. You don't get to make a racket like that in here. Halberd! Fang!
Wait, don't throw me out! These two con artists are trying to steal my Mora. You can't let them get away with it.
Well, let's take this somewhere else. I don't want any of you disturbing the other guests. Okay, you two. Care to explain yourselves?
Gladly. He's making up completely spurious claims. We were betting Mora over a few coin tosses, and now he wants to back out. In the land of contracts, of all places. He won 250,000 from me, then another 800,000 from the both of us. Now he's refusing to pay up the measly 50,000 that he lost in the final round.
Okay, so after settling up, a total of 1 million Mora should have changed hands. Sounds plausible enough.
It's a complete pack of lies! Hostess, if you don't believe me...
Sorry to interrupt you all, but you're witnesses to the situation.
Oh, thank goodness you're finally here. What took you so long? That old guy's been—
Leave me out of this. I want nothing to do with gamblers and scammers. Please.
Our new owner laid down the law not too long ago. We turn a blind eye towards casual games. Return any winnings to the party you took them from, and we'll say that none of the—
Why should I have to give them any Mora? I don't have—
Oh, but I think you do. 2 investments, was it?
You...
Halberd! Fang! There's a—
Please don't.
This was never your Mora to begin with. What did you think, Captain Wu? Could you—
Yes, everything! I can't thank you two enough.
Woo. This was your doing, wasn't it? Along with that blonde one. And all that— I know where you live, and I know what you're—
Who'd be scared of a crook like you?
Well, let's see how long that—
Oh, look at that. He figured it out. Guess he's not as dumb as we thought.
Don't you two get cocky either. Just you wait. I will hunt you down.
My apologies for having to leave this question until you'd vacated the premises. But I couldn't have things escalate inside the tea house. I hope you can understand our position. I noticed that all the guests on the second floor were present before you took your seats. Then, would I be correct in saying you were looking—
Wait, so you saw through—
Under normal circumstances, we would never tolerate a scheme like this taking— However, I understand that our owner holds the traveler in high regard.
Ah, as I thought. When you're operating on someone else's turf— Over to you, brave hero. You're the—
Okay, I understand the situation now. It goes without saying that I have no—
Well, Captain Wu, remember what I promised you? What do you think? Angry—
Excuse me, coming through.
Yes, that's him all right.
Wait! Where's your evidence? And Wu, you've already recovered your Mora. I don't deserve to be punished twice for the same crime.
You can't talk your way out of this one. You're already suspected of defrauding multiple victims out of smaller amounts, and the combined total meets the threshold for a conviction. If it turns out you're guilty in this case, too, it'll only add to your sentence. Does the plaintiff have any witnesses? If so, we'd really appreciate— You got tangled up in this too, huh? In that case, please come with me. Your witness— Don't worry, we won't take up too much of your time.
Hey, keep your hands off me. I'll cooperate.
Thank you so much, the both of you.
Well, I have an idea. We originally came here to do some sights—
Let me think. Now, where would I want—
Sounds fun to me. Well, this was certainly an eventful end to my trip. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Or my lucky coin, of course. Wouldn't be much of a lucky coin if it had. Besides, I already taught you how to become attuned to it. You still need some practice to master the technique, but a better question to ask might be, what do I do to make this coin happy to work with me and show me whichever side I wish? My answer would be that I tell the coin a joke every time I toss it in. Of course, this whole arrangement hinges on a pre-existing amount of trust between them. Yeah, I was a little surprised when he unwittingly called out our trick coin, but it didn't matter. A good gambler always keeps their options open. You have to have a contingency plan. So when I went to the counter, that safely avoided any risk of him finding out about the trick. But hey, what does it matter? The fact that he made things a little more challenging, especially listening to him warn us about the possibility of a rigged coin, as long as I chose the same bet as him, and you bet the opposite to me, it was always going to end up with him. Then things would have gotten really—
You two are genuinely the smartest people I've ever met. I'm no intellectual, so I would never have been able to come up with a plan like this. Even when you described it to me, well, I may not be the smartest guy around, but one thing I do know is this. We were just ordinary acquaintances. If there's anything I can ever do for you—
No? You seem agitated. There are two kinds of people who owe me favors. One is my friends, and the other my informants. My informants have to fulfill whatever requests I make of them, no questions asked. The question— and you're torn again. Too afraid to ask to— Well, it's okay, because I just thought of a fun— This is the regular coin I prepared for the contingency plan when I was borrowing a— If it's heads, we're friends. But if it's tails, you're at my beck and call.
So,
what do you think? What does your heart tell you?
I understand now. You have my most sincere—
You're always so busy. It's high time you gave yourself a proper break. Even the sharpest blade loses its edge if it's always in use. Regular maintenance is essential for reliability. And anyway, life is short, so we should make the most of the time we have. Now I remember why you're an honorary knight. Of course, your honest character is dazzling to behold. Like the sunlight reflecting— In that case, I guess today's end-of-trip blowout is cancelled. I shall pack my luggage and prepare to return to Mondstadt. Oh, you'd do that for me? When I was souvenir shopping, I picked out something for you too. Guess my thoughtfulness was— Let's keep that a secret for now. Not because I want— It's just that I didn't think I'd run into you. I want you to find out for yourself when you open it. The surprise is— Then it's settled. We'll leave together shortly. Look, Mondstadt's windmills. Ah, such a comforting sight. Now, as promised, your souvenir. Here you go. According to the merchant I bought it from, mysterious spirits called Jinn often live in lamps like this. And this lamp in particular once housed a very powerful genie. Merchants love to exaggerate to help make a sale, but it's still quite the pretty little lamp. I know you like rare things, so perhaps you can add this to your collection. Of course, you can also use it as an ordinary pot. Personally, I think it'd make an excellent wine vessel. You're welcome. I'm glad you like it. I'm ready to head into the city now. You're free to join me. I could give everyone their souvenirs first, but maybe I'll take a breather first. But I know I'll only get bored sitting in my room alone. Yes, I suppose. Okay, souvenir run it is. Let's start by going to the Knights of Favonius headquarters.
One need not scry to know today's weather will be good.
Hey, you two busy?
You must have had a tough journey, Kaeya. Oh, it's been a while, cutie.
Yes, welcome back, Kaeya. Why is the honorary knight accompanying you? I understand. Back to Matt. A few days ago, we received a letter from the representative of the Wine Merchants Association.
Just doing my duty. Anything to reduce the acting Grandmaster's workload. Oh, I nearly forgot. I have some unused travel funds.
Given the suddenness of the situation but I didn't think there would be this much left over.
Just doing the right thing. But I'm not actually here for...
Souvenirs from Sumeru?
Here, the letter opener is for Jean. The jeweled brooch...
The artistry of this is exquisite. Look at the ornamentation on the sheath. This must be one of...
I love the color of the gem in this brooch. And the setting is so elegant.
It wasn't too bad.
Might I intrude a moment?
Albedo, is that you?
I finished the latest quarterly expenses report for the workshop. It's ready for your review. You two look like you're in good spirits.
As a matter of fact, the honorary knight and I traveled back from Sumeru together. Hey, you two busy?
You must have had a...
Yes. A few days ago...
Just doing my duty.
But I didn't...
Just doing...
Souvenir?
Here, the letter
The artistry...
I love the color.
It wasn't...
Might I intrude?
Albedo, is that you?
I finished the latest quarterly expenses report for the workshop. It's ready for your review. Traveler, greetings. And Kaeya, welcome back from Sumeru. I haven't seen you in a while. You two look like you're in good spirits.
As a matter of fact, the honorary knight and I traveled back from Sumeru together. Ah yes, and I brought some souvenirs for you and Klee. They form a set. Hold on, let me dig them out.
You're too kind. Klee has been constantly inquiring as to the timing of your return lately.
Since you weren't around, she thought you had also been grounded, and that it would be a long time before you could come out.
Children always have the most peculiar way of looking at things.
Also been grounded? Sounds like things haven't been too dull for you all in my absence.
It's Klee's third time this...
Evidently, you're not the least bit surprised.
No. On the contrary, what would be a surprise is if Klee ever...
Anyway, since my souvenir is part of a set with Klee's, there's no rush to give it to me. When Klee's next... released, I'll bring her to see you some...
Sure, makes sense. Leave the surprise for the person who'll enjoy it the most.
I'll leave these documents here. I'll take my leave now, everyone.
Kaeya, I've approved your vacation request. Use this time to relax and unwind. Don't worry about you too, Honorary Knight. There isn't any work the Knights of Favonius require your assistance with at this time, so please take it easy.
Thank you. Then we'll be going now.
Enjoy your vacation. But don't forget to return the Fox and the Dandelion Sea series before it's due.
Don't worry, I'm nearly done with those. I'll be able to return them in a few days. I'm surprised Klee still hasn't escaped. I taught her a few tricks just before I left. Kids will always have their moments of mischief, but to be able to Well, now that all the gifts for the Knights of Favonius... Ooh, how about we visit the Dawn Winery under the pretext of delivering souvenirs and try to score some free wine? Diluc should be there tomorrow since he has business to deal with. But then there's nothing scheduled for the day. What do you think? When should we go? That works. Then I guess we'll see Diluc. You made it. Come on, let's go inside. Brace yourself for some sour grapes.
If you're not feeling well, then let me go this time.
I'm fine. It's not serious.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not interrupting.
What are you doing here today? And I see you've brought a +1.
Oh, it's nothing particularly pressing. It's just that we recently returned from Sumeru and...
Is that it? Make yourselves comfortable then.
Oh, do you really mean that? Because my definition of comfortable...
Sounds like you're in a hurry to reach your goal.
Plotting a raid? Why, you My informants tell me that last month, the Dawn Winery spent a large sum of mora on 2 bottles of limited edition. Of course, a teetotaler like yourself would... Oh, wait. But the sterling reputation of Dawn Winery is...
Quite the story. You used that one last year.
What? Really? I totally forgot. In that case... Here. This is for you.
Thanks. Put it on the table.
That's it? No
You want a comment? Okay then. This thing is very in line with your unique aesthetic tastes. Elzer, fetch a bottle of this year's newest batch from the warehouse, or else someone will keep
One moment, Master Kaeya. I shall fetch it immediately.
What's wrong, Elzer? Are you okay?
My throat is a bit raspy is all. It got better after I began taking medicine. But recently...
Many illnesses are caused by overwork. If you don't get enough rest, surely you should have long since handed over the work of the winery to Diluc by now.
Actually, most of the time
Take some time off, Elzer. Don't put it... It's important to take care of your health. You have to take it seriously.
Master Diluc, Master Kaeya, thank you both.
Enjoy your vacation. Though, before you officially clock out, let me head out the door with you. We can grab. There's nothing quite like enjoying a quality wine while feeling the gentle breeze against your face. Ah.
Normally I'd accompany you, but unfortunately I still have...
Really? Oh, that...
I asked Connor to select a bottle of our best.
You asked Connor?
He hasn't seen you in a while.
Considerate as ever. Ah, Elzer,
Such artistry.
Glad you like it. Go on, enjoy your time off. And don't...
Very well, Master Kaeya.
Elzer is a good guy, and he's very responsible.
Master Kaeya, your wine and an apple cider for Traveler? This one's for you.
Oh, very clear.
Isn't it? This one's a little on the sweeter side.
No need. Sweet is just fine.
Don't mind if I do. I haven't caught up with you. We used to always pour the first glass for you when cracking open a new barrel.
Well, since it wasn't me harvesting the grapes, de-stemming, or crushing them, it's much more fitting that you...
Crushing the grapes improves the aroma and color of the wine during the fermentation process. If you'd like, Traveler, you can help us harvest...
It isn't nearly as exciting as he makes it sound.
Master Kaeya is right. Harvesting grapes is... But seeing the grapes turn into grape juice, then ferment into wine... It's a fascinating...
Wait, so Diluc actually helps you with the winemaking?
Oh, goodness no. Master Diluc is far too busy, not just during the day.
Oh? And just what is Diluc always so busy with?
Well, you know, come nightfall, he's always out there...
Connor, you're an awful liar.
So Master Kaeya, how do you like your drink? I remember you weren't very interested in wine when you were young.
That was because the adults said children weren't allowed even a drop.
Ah, yes, of course.
But on a serious note, having grown up at a winery, I spent even though I couldn't help with making distilled spirits, how could anyone not love to drink with a childhood like that? So, let us raise a glass to wine itself, and in thanks to the gracious hospitality the winery has shown us today.
Hear, hear, to Dawn Winery.
Speaking of wine, Connor, I have a gift for you. It's a decanter set from Sumeru.
I get a present too? Thank you, Master Kaeya. Time really does fly. I still remember the days when everyone was giving you gifts at your birthday parties when you were young. Now I have wrinkles and Tunner's bent double, while Master Kaeya is the cavalry captain of the Knights of Favonius.
How is Tunner holding up?
He's still tough, but getting on in years, so some things just aren't as easy as they were. But he's used to doing A lot of the temporary workers I hired quit because they couldn't handle how picky he was. Master Kaeya, if you have time, why not go talk to him about it? You're probably the only person he'll listen to besides Master Diluc.
I definitely owe him a visit. I haven't seen him in some time, and I do have fond memories of the days when he was teaching me to pick grapes. Busy day today, Tunner?
Oh, Master Kaeya, you're back. No, I'm not at all busy. I just spend my hours watching the grapes growing on the vine. They're growing wonderfully this year. A few rows are almost ripe. We've already begun harvesting them these past few days, so that'll keep me occupied. Sit. After we're done picking, I'll bring a few bunches over for you to try.
No need. We were just drinking with Connor, and our stomachs are so full of wine that we couldn't eat a bite.
What about your friend? Doesn't she want to try?
Allow me to introduce the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius.
Ah, the honorary knight in the flesh. There are so many talented people in the Knights of Favonius. You all have bright futures ahead of you.
Harvesting grapes is hard work. Let me help you. Do you still remember how I used to help out when we were short-handed?
I believe I do. In that case, I'm counting on you. What's this? Everyone's clamoring to do manual labor? Well, suits me. More help is always appreciated. Come with me, young lass. I'll tell you which grapes are ripe enough, and you can pick them.
Time to go.
Ooh, you have nimble hands, lassie. Master Kaeya wasn't nearly so careful when he was young. He mangled so many his first time. What a waste. Fortunately, the young master has a good head on his shoulders. Didn't take long for him to get up to speed. And now he's turned into such an outstanding young man, polite and kind. If I had a son as exceptional as Kaeya, oh, I would be the happiest man in Mondstadt. There's a few more rows of grapes up ahead. Let's finish picking. These grapes look excellent. You're a fast learner. I'll take them. Good job. Master Kaeya left the winery and moved to Mondstadt. Just like my own son, Guy. He left home to join the Knights of Favonius, too. I don't know him like Miss Adeline or Master Diluc do, but I know that no matter how old your child gets, they always need a home they can come back to. And without family by your side, you at least need the companionship of friends. I've been working here for decades and watched him grow up with my own two eyes. Sometimes I get the sense that there is something bothering him, something deep-rooted. But he guards his secrets closely. Or perhaps he just doesn't want to involve us. After all, I doubt that we could help him. I can see that you have a good relationship with Master Kaeya. Please look after him. He's very dear to us. Hearing that puts my mind at ease. Wonderful, wonderful. Knowing that he has a friend like you, we here at the winery can be happy for him.
You're looking very happy, Tunner. Was the traveler telling you some jokes?
No jokes. I've received a letter from my son, Guy. He's really going places. I'm so delighted. Master Kaeya, honorary knight, my eyesight is fading in my old age. Could you read it out for me?
Of course.
Thank you both.
I'm surprised Klee still hasn't escaped. I taught her a few tricks just before I left. Kids will always have their moments of mischief. But to be able to well, now that ooh, how about we visit the D-Luke should be there tomorrow since he has business to deal with. But then there's nothing scheduled. What do you think? When should we go? Great, then it's settled. Let's meet the day after tomorrow. You're more. Let's head inside.
Master Kaeya? And the Traveler?
Long time no see, Elzer.
Yes, it's been a while, hasn't it?
No need to be so formal. I just returned from Sumeru.
Ah, what a pity. Master D...
Never mind. The main thing is that you and Adeland are here. Oh, speaking of Adeland, where is she?
She's taking some time off. She was busy.
Perfect. I brought some gifts for you both. Here.
My goodness, it's exquisite. Would you like anything to drink? We recently finished making a new...
Well, what perfect timing.
Let me fetch a barrel and have someone deliver it to the Knights of Favonius headquarters for you.
Oh, I won't be needing an entire barrel.
Oh, Master D-Luke might grumble, but he doesn't mean it.
Much obliged. Then I'll have a glass of dandelion wine and a glass of cider lake for her, if you please.
The name is not that literal. It is a drink with virtually no alcoholic content, as Master Kaeya will be aware.
Strictly speaking, that's not entirely true.
Please, enjoy. Pleased you liked it. Looks like my bartending skills haven't faded with age.
How have you been recently? Is the winery's business doing...
To tell you the truth, we've had our work cut out for us recently trying to...
So, you've had no time...
But with him being out on business for a few days, who would take care of business and the guests if I were to take time off?
At least take half a day to see a doctor and make sure you're okay. If your condition worsens, D-Luke will never forgive himself.
You make a fair point.
If you're worried about having someone to handle the winery, why not leave it to me? I'm familiar enough with your responsibilities to cover for you for a while.
Master Kaeya, Please, come back to the winery.
All right. No need for that kind of talk.
While I'm resting, I shall leave Dawn.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Such great weather today, though it's a pity this batch seems a bit bland. How about Of course it's fine. I promised Elzer I'd help. I said nothing about leaving the wine alone.
Sorry, I'm a little late to the welcome party, but I believe I just heard the words wine locker and reserve collection. Planning on pilfering a bottle of reserve, Master Kaeya? The reserve collection is reserved for a reason, you know. You should at least run it past Master D-Luke first.
Oh, Adeland, surely you misheard. We were simply...
I see. Anyway, what brings you...
We just returned from Sumeru. It's been a while, so I thought we might drop and perhaps enjoy a complimentary drink while we're here. Surely you...
How could I object? We're simply happy that you've come back to see us.
Oh, Adeland, I also brought some gifts for you all. This bottle of essential oil is for you.
Oh my! I can't believe you remembered something like that.
Of course I remember. You always took such good care of me when I fell sick.
You're all grown up now, and you don't get sick nearly as easily. You don't need me to look after.
True, I don't get sick as much. But speaking of being looked after, when I was in Sumeru, I did find my...
Oh, are you hungry? Would you like to eat something? You too, Traveler. Please tell me if there's anything you...
Well, now that you mention it, I do actually feel a bit peckish.
Steak?
Oh, yes.
Fragrant cedarwood grilled, medium, stewed vegetables on the side?
Yes, just like you always used to make. Thank you kindly, Adeland.
My pleasure. Traveler, I'm sorry I'm not familiar with your preferences. Would you like to come? Grilling the steak over fragrant cedar wood infuses it with more. Since using an open flame to grill indoors is somewhat inconvenient, I can offer you a satisfying salad, cold cut platter, and anything stewed. Okay, right away. Master Kaeya really likes stewed vegetables, but it takes the most time. So, of course, I looked after him and Master Diluc when they were growing up. He wasn't always such a complicated character. He was a gentle child, polite and very sweet. Boys, huh? The gentle ones grow up to be wild, and the rambunctious ones become quiet and reserved. At least that's my experience. If there's anything you don't understand about Master Kaeya and his antics, his temperament has changed quite a lot over the years, but he still has a lot of the endearing qualities I remember. Kaeya is much savvier and more mature than he used to be. When he answers your question with a question, stop and think carefully about what he wants you to believe, and don't be led on by him. As for not knowing what he's up to, that's because he loves making up, but don't let him get to you too much. You can take it from me. Do you know why it's called that? The name was coined by none other than Master... They were adorable when they were young. One time, the winery Master Diluc wasn't happy about that, and he convinced Master... And how did I find this out? Because when Master Kaeya attempted to distract me, I could clearly... The Captain Kaeya of today never bats an... Anyway, they were discovered by Master Crepus in the end, and he was furious. The wine cellar had over a dozen large wine... I'd originally planned to secretly finish off the work for him. He and I finished scrubbing the remaining barrels when Master Crepus saw that the bruises on Master Kaeya's hands were even darker than those on Master Crepus wasn't stern by nature. So, to comfort Master Kaeya, he mixed him a drink and added a few drops of alcohol. So you see, Kaeya was a gentle child, and never one to boast about the things he did for other people. Sometimes his friends have a special place in his heart, even if Kaeya's quite a smooth talker these days. But I can tell that his habit of quietly helping others hasn't... good. Okay, the stew is...
Drinking fine wine, eating Adelin's steak? Now this is what I call a vacation. Oh? What has Adeland been telling you? So she told the good stories.
Food's ready. I hope you're hungry. I made a little extra.
Oh, we never imagined there would be such a magnificent feast. You've really...
If you keep chatting away, the food will get cold.
I'm afraid that just won't do, Adeland. I'm serious. After all, I don't live here anymore, so I'm just a regular guest.
Since it's you, Master Kaeya, I know that us sharing a meal is a sign of our close relationship, but this is technically against the rules. Traveler, given how petty Master Kaeya can be, it must be hard for him to make friends. Does he...
See, I do have a way with people.
Hello, everyone. Pardon me, but is this Don Wan? I'm Guangzhi, a guard with the Secure Transport Agency under the Leo...
No wonder Elzer felt so strongly about staying. He certainly wasn't...
The pleasure is all mine. The Secure Transport Agency has worked with your fine establishment in the past.
Why don't we go inside to discuss the details? No doubt the conversation will flow better with some...
Certainly, Master Kaeya. Please wait...
And how might I address you, sir? As
just Kaeya is fine. I'm standing in today for Elzer.
A pleasure to meet you as well. I'm not just here today to pay our collaboration with Dawn Winery last year was quite successful. If it's no trouble, please also mention to Master D-Luke that our agency has expanded this year. So if the winery has any additional needs, please consider us.
Master Kaeya, the apple cider you
Master? Wait. Pardon my foolishness, but might I inquire?
I'm Master Krepus's adopted son, and Master D-Luke's brother.
My mistake. I apologize for not realizing earlier.
You may have misunderstood, Mr. Gwangjer. Though I'm also a guest here today. I'm merely here receiving guests due to Elzer being... But please, don't worry. I will...
Thank you for your graciousness. I knew the Dawn Winery's wines were delicious, but I am only now discovering how wonderful the apple cider...
In addition to the apple cider, the winery has an extensive collection of reserve wines and liquor. Adeland, please fetch a bottle from the reserve collection in the second floor.
As you wish, Master.
Thank you again for your most gracious hospitality.
Please, it was a pleasure. Here's hoping we'll...
The guest has left, Master Kaeya. It's no skin off my nose. Master, all I really wanted to say is, you will always be a part of the Dawn Winery family, Master. I have never considered you an outsider. No matter when, if you ever feel tired, you'll always be welcome here.
I understand, Adeland. Oh, now this is a busy...
Hello, everyone. I'm back.
Now that was fast. How are you feeling?
The doctor said there was nothing to worry about. I just need some rest. But on the way back, I met someone who was looking for Master Kaeya.
Kaeya! Shh! Klee's here to rescue you! Come on! Let's... Miss Honorary Knight! Are you grounded with Kaeya too?
Grounded? Yes, Albedo was saying something. Sumeru was fun, but it can't compare with Mondstadt. So here we are.
You two must have done something to make Jean mad, but that's okay. Kaeya has rescued Klee loads of times before, so when Albedo told me you came back, I went and said sorry to Jean. Kaeya, you're free now! We can go play together again!
Oh, if my memory serves me.
This is a fully qualified Knight of Favonius.
Hello, miss. I'm Klee. We're sorry.
What?
I really need to take Kaeya and Miss Honorary Knight away, so we can go...
I see. Hello, Miss Klee. You needn't worry. Master Kaeya's grounding is long over.
See, Adeland, you don't need to worry about me. I have lots of... Look, Mondstadt's windmills. Ah, such a comforting sight. Now, as promised, your souvenir. Here you go. According to the merchant I bought it from, mysterious spirits called Jinn often live in lamps like this. And this lamp in particular once housed a very powerful genie. Merchants love to exaggerate to help make us. I know you like rare things, so perhaps you can add this to your collection. Of course, you're welcome. I'm glad you like it. I'm ready to head into the city now. You're free to join me. I could give everyone their souvenirs first, but maybe I'll take a breather first. But I know I'll only get bored sitting in my room alone. I'm honored to have such a caring friend. Let's go to the plaza in front of the cathedral. We can listen to the bards playing or feed the pigeons. After so long in Sumeru, I've begun to miss that slow-paced and relaxed atmosphere. There's no rush. We can take our time and stroll on over. Port Ormos is always lively, even late into the night. People there go to bed much later than I imagined. Quite a stark contrast with Mondstadt. People pray and play music in the Cathedral Plaza during the day, but come nighttime, the streets are deserted except for the knights on patrol. Good question. Life in Sumeru is never dull. Last time I was out drinking on the street at night, some passing mercenaries invited me to dance. Although, I did learn later that that kind of thing is highly unusual even there. They must have been in a very good mood that night. They taught me a lot of songs that they usually sing during feasts. It really was a fun night. But be that as it may, I think I'm more suited to the free and easy life in Mondstadt. Simple, honest folks like me, we don't need much to be content. Fair enough. Let's shelve that discussion for now. Have you ever had a Well, let's see if we can catch them today. Sister Grace is right there, so we can ask her about the choir's schedule. Excuse me, Sister Grace. Does the church choir have any performances coming up soon?
Oh, I'm so sorry. The hymn concert we previously announced has unfortunately been pushed back.
Oh? What's the story there?
As you probably know, Captain Kaeya, we've been trying to organize an amateur choir in addition to the regular church choir.
Ah, yes. I heard about that. I believe the plan was ultimately to have different choirs who can take turns to perform hymn concerts.
Yes, exactly. Well, it turns out there are plenty of believers who are good singers and interested in joining a choir, so in theory, it should have been a simple case of getting everyone in the same room, then practice, practice, practice. But for some reason, the rehearsals are going terribly. I don't understand it. Everyone in the choir has a basic level of musical literacy, but they sound awful together. It's like everyone's trying to do their own thing. There's no group harmony. Oh, maybe I'm just not musically gifted enough to give them the guidance they need. Captain Kaeya, I know you like listening to hymns. How good is your understanding of vocal...
Me? Music is far from...
Thank you so much, Captain Kaeya. Having some...
I'm sure you've figured out who this expert is already. He has the best singing voice of any poet in Mondstadt. Good day. Drinking alone? I hope you don't mind us joining you.
Hello, hello! Please, take a seat. We're all friends here.
Patton, one moonlit alley and an apple cider.
Ooh, excellent choices. Come on, let's have a toast and drain our glasses together. Here's to the time spent drinking with friends, which is more unforgettable than the drinks are delectable.
Ever the poet, Professor Venti. A beautiful toast from the bard with the most. Any new songs of yours we could listen to? There's a real dearth of quality entertainment at the moment, since the cathedral's choir performance has been delayed again. Speaking of which, I trust you've heard Sister Grace's choir perform before?
Of course! Though the format is a little on the formal side, they do sing quite beautifully. Very pleasant to listen to.
So you'd say you enjoy listening to hymns?
Let me think. Well, however it's expressed, as long as you can hear the singer's passion and joy in their voice, I consider it a phenomenal performance.
Passion and joy, huh? An intriguing perspective. By this logic, I suppose Lord Barbados would also enjoy the choir's performances.
Oh? And why is that?
Think about it. It's only because of his patient guidance and protection that the people of Mondstadt can now sing such beautiful hymns in the cathedral. It must be quite satisfying for him to hear a joyful people lift up their voices in song.
Yes, well, that's a beautiful image filled with hope. But actually, maybe Barbados himself doesn't give it so much thought. In principle, the hymns of the cathedral are dedicated to a god, but in reality, the audience...
If Sister Grace was able to see things that way, perhaps she wouldn't feel so...
Huh? Distressed? About what? Ugh, she might be asking a bit too much. To be honest, if they have a natural talent for music, they should just be allowed to sing whatever they want. It'll all sound good. I'm pretty sure the first people to sing songs to the Animal Archon weren't all singing the same tune. Besides, he is the god of freedom. Surely he'd prefer to hear Mondstadters sing their hearts out however comes naturally to them.
Well, to each their own, I say. But Sister Grace seems quite bothered by the whole thing. If only a kind soul with a deep understanding of poetry and music could help her. Patton?
More drinks?
Uh-oh. I only brought enough money for one bottle today. I'll have to pass.
Another bottle of apple cider for Venti, please, Patton. My treat.
Wow! Thanks, Kaeya. You are one of the finest students ever to emerge from my fast-track love poetry class. I always did admire your enthusiasm and kindness. With the aid of this bottle, a humble bard's woes are whisked away on the wind. And so it falls to this humble bard to pass the blessing on to another.
Then this is probably the single most worthwhile alcohol purchase I've ever made. With your help, Sister Grace's problems are as good as solved. Sister Grace is a devout follower of the Animo Archon. Perhaps it's her depth of devotion that causes her to worry too much about the smallest things.
Don't worry. Just wait a moment. I'll go find her. Right after I finish this cider. The next time you visit her, our sweet sister shall be sad no more. Kaeya is a wily character, but for you, it's fine. I mean, the church's choral hymns aren't exactly my... Hey, if I'm happy and Sister Grace is happy...
Divination is about precisely foretelling one's written destiny, over-embellishing that fate.
Hello, Sister Grace. How are the...
Captain Kaeya, your bard friend has a few suggestions that are somewhat fanciful in nature.
Fanciful in the sense of not worth adopting? Is that what you mean? Everyone in the choir loves to sing, but they're used to singing their favorite songs. Suddenly asking them to sing in perfect harmony like a church choir with years of experience is just too difficult. So, why ask them to adjust to the demands of those staid old church hymns when you could just create a new song for them? One that they'll be able to grasp quickly? If you want, I could help.
Church choirs typically stick to traditional hymns. This is certainly an innovative idea. What's stopping you from considering it, Sister Grace?
While I don't expect a recently established amateur choir to perform on par with our own church choir, this would be a major departure from tradition. I'm just not convinced that it's appropriate.
Is the Church of Favonius really such a stickler for tradition? Giving believers the chance to express themselves freely seems like it would be a very positive thing. So Venti, do you think the Animo Archon would like to hear a new melody?
Of course! This was the wish of the people when New Mondstadt was first founded.
Okay, well let's see what our other friend thinks. Traveler, what are your thoughts? Another vote of confidence. Maybe there's hope for this idea yet.
Maybe it's just a generational thing, but... well, it's not a completely unreasonable idea. I suppose it can't hurt to try.
Looks like we're all in favor then, so let's start preparing. Sister Grace, could we trouble you to inform the choir members?
Of course. I'll tell them now, and then we'll give this a try.
Should we find some people to help us compose the lyrics? If this is to be a new song of the people, then the more fresh ideas we have, the better.
Good idea. Let's split up and find some contributors, Traveler. Let me think. Since we're composing a song, we should try and recruit at least one person who understands music. Aha, I know. Sister Grace, how would you feel about us asking Sister Barbara to provide her input?
Given that the idea is to write a song dedicated to Lord Barbados, I'm sure Sister Barbara would be very willing.
Perfect. Traveler, why don't you head into the cathedral and invite Sister Barbara to join us? I'll look for another friend who's interested in helping us.
Let the wind lead. Traveler, it's been a long time since I last saw you in the cathedral. Please, don't be shy. Go right ahead. Oh, I see. What an interesting idea. The hymns we know today have been passed down to us through the ages. Very few people would ever think to create a new one. But as long as we put our hearts into it and write with reverence and devotion, perhaps our new song can become part of the tradition that is passed on and bring joy to future generations. I never imagined that the bard would come up with such an amazing suggestion. I'd really love to be a part of this. Sure, let's go there together right now.
Ah, you're here.
You took your sweet time. Psh, I've seen Kaeya play Genius Invocation TCG, making up a bunch of baloney to distract his opponents. He's a trickster plain and simple. So now, I gotta check with you guys to see if what he's saying is true. Can we really write about anything we want in this song? Even the evils of Mondstadt's wine industry? And is the choir really gonna perform it publicly? So everyone on the streets will hear it?
I can guarantee he won't.
Then I wanna write this! All booze hounds will be punished harshly by Lord Barbados!
That's a very novel idea indeed.
I'm used to just humming to myself while I work. So after Sister Grace criticized us for not singing in harmony, I was planning on quitting the choir. I never thought we'd be able to just sing what we wanted. What a relief.
Plus, we get to write a song with Sister Barbara. I'm so honored.
Thank you, everyone. Why don't we start by picking a theme for this song?
I agree. Traditionally speaking, the theme should be Praise be to the gentle and loving Lord Barbados.
I expect that Professor Venti might feel that topic is overdone and lacks originality, and that it may—
That's Kaeya for you. Got it in one. I'd suggest that everyone start by thinking of the little things in life that bring you joy.
Ooh, well then can I praise the purr?
Of course you can.
I think I'd like to rejoice in the precious days spent together with family.
Let us praise Mondstadt, the city that allows us to sing freely.
See? Already we have lots of wonderful ideas. Let's write them down, and then Kaeya can... Kaeya?
What are you doing here? Didn't want to participate in the discussion. I just wanted to take you to hear a performance. But that obviously... The rehearsals are now back on track, so I've done my part. If I stay here any longer, I'd rather it didn't come to that. My songwriting abilities are limited. If doing nothing but loitering on the plaza enjoying the scenery all day is the only way to relax, but that would get boring after a while. To me, it's more fun to wander. Besides, can you be so sure I didn't have something to—
Oh! I spy 2 naughty students skipping class, and they just so happen to be the We're ready to review and discuss everyone's lyric contribution.
I still recall the teachings of Professor Venti. The Animo Archon cares not about how— With so many true believers gathered together earnestly writing a song for him, that's what a song of worship is all about. So—
And that's the reason you've decided to leave?
Slipping away before the final verse is sung, before the poet has uttered the last line, before everything has concluded. Oh no, you've seen right through me.
Wow, that was a craftily crafted speech. I almost— But to share all this with a group of friends, only to find myself one friend short before the final verse. If you don't want to write a poem, then let me gift you one. Abandoned to it, the swift currents surge, and on majestic waves cresting, surf roar, the stars in my eyes as I chart toward the horizon. If you are a chaser of freedom, the Animo Archon will bless you. So why not let those feelings—
A boat that has come unmoored will not get lost in the night, but sail towards the dawn.
Of course, you don't have to believe in it, but the winds of Mondstadt will guide every lost ship.
Well, after a fine poem like that, it would—
Let's head back together. You two of all people have to be there for the grand finale.